We're part of Film Club from FireFly, and for the past 5 days we've been making a film about the River Almond. And here it is.
I didn't really have a view of the river. I didn't really know it existed. There's a river in Livingston. News to me.
When I got told that we were doing a film about the River Almond, I was a bit sort of hesitant to be excited.
A lot of people were a bit apprehensive about how much interest we were going to have and how much investment we were going to have in the overall project.
The River Almond is that way, I think.
I think I may have seen it crossing a bridge from here to the centre, but there was water, so I think it was a river, but I don't know.
Well, the River Nile is an wait, is it which river?
Where is the Almond River?
Oh, right, that river. Okay, it's down there, nearby Asda.
I think the river's like over there.
I don't think I've ever visited the river.
Hello there, my name is Rod, and this is my rod, Niles. Today, we're going to be interviewing Jamie here. So first of all, Jamie, can you tell us what you do?
I am the Community Engagement Officer for the River Forth Fisheries Trust, working on the RiverLife project in Livingston and in Edinburgh. I think the most exciting thing about the river is it's so varied. It's quite a small river compared to somewhere like the River Forth, but it's still got all that variation that you might find in the River Forth. So if you go right up to the top of the River Almond, it's nice and quiet. There's lots of flat ground, but there's also lots of forest around, so you'll see lots of birds in the top part of the river. But as you go down, you start getting quite a lot of cultural heritage and industrial heritage. So you'll find lots of remains of old weirs and dams, and you'll find existing weirs as well. So there's lots of things to see as you wander around, but loads of animals, which is really, really cool. So on the River Almond, you've probably got around 5 families of otters, from the top all the way down to the bottom in Cramond. Otters are very cute and cuddly. They are mustelids, so they're related to things like badgers and wolverines. They dig burrows, and they're called holts. So they'll dig them with quite big claws into the bank, but they won't stay in the same holt for their whole life. In fact, they'll have maybe 5 or 6 holes on one stretch of river, and they'll move their babies between those holes. Their babies are called kits.
Hello, we are the otter spotters of West Lothian. We formed back in 2011, 6 years ago. To this date, we are still yet to spot an otter, but we are very hopeful.
We think today might be the day, finally. Said that every day since 2011, but today's going to be the day we find an otter.
I haven't went home yet.
Currently it's just the 4 of us in the Otter Spotting Society, but we're hoping to expand our group a lot further, you know, get some more otter enthusiasts in the otter spotting business.
What do otters look like?
Bit like beavers, but
Yeah.
wet. Bit wet.
Yeah.
Well, beavers are quite wet as well.
We are the otter spotters, we're here to spot some otters. Let's go spot some otters, 'cause we are the otter spotters.
My name's Bruce Hope. I'm a member of the West Lothian Angling Association, and we're at the location where I spend a lot of my time. I only took up fishing last year and I was 32 when I took it up. The stretch that we're on just now in the Almond Country Park, for me, is the best place to fish. It's beautiful scenery, plenty of wildlife, and there's fish in the river, which is the most important thing. The first fish that I caught was a brown trout. It was emotional. I'd spent 6 months plus perfecting my technique, researching, watching YouTube videos. Yeah, it was April this year. I still got a picture of it on my phone. It was a special moment. It's my meditation. It's my escape from work. I come down to unwind and just spend a couple hours chasing fish.
We started the lesson in the big field across from the Calder Woods Country Park, basically just showing us how to cast, explaining like all the essential equipment you need when you go fishing, what all the different types of flies are used for and when to use each of them.
Make sure that the fly line's completely through all the loops, otherwise it won't fly through.
I was expecting to just like not be in a field to begin with. I thought we would just go like straight to the Almond and try and fish.
So ideally when you get in the water, just throw it out a wee bit, strip out some line, and then you're going out for your cast.
The fishing lesson was a lot more difficult than I expected it to be, because when you see someone else doing the fishing and the casting, it just looks absolutely effortless and like completely easy, and then you do it and it's like you do the thing and then you throw it and then it just goes right in front of you and you're just like, oh, okay.
Just one hand. Yeah. I see you're overpowering.
Okay.
I think it was more difficult than I thought it'd be. I thought it'd just be kind of easy, but it wasn't. It was quite specific, the kind of technique you had to use to make sure the fly did the thing it needed to do. And there was no hook, so we didn't like hook our eyes out.
Bruce put cotton wool on so we wouldn't hurt ourselves, which again was probably a really good idea, because that cotton wool hit my face like twice.
At the start it was kind of difficult, but then I got the hang of it and then it started to become kind of fun.
I found it quite difficult. Coordination is not my thing, and neither is like getting things right with like a speed, because you have to get it like perfect, and that's just not me. I think Bruce had a fun approach to fishing. He wasn't treating it like it was a task. I think he was enjoying it.
Walking across the weir was kind of, I don't know, like I didn't think I was going to fall in, but I knew there was like a chance I could. I think it was more difficult than casting in the field, and I think it was partly because, you know, you're standing on a weir that's quite thin, and there's the kind of, you're trying to keep your balance so you don't fall in, as well as fishing, and it's just more stuff to do. Bruce was like explaining like things I could do to kind of make my cast a bit better, and he was like talking about pausing more before, making sure to let all the line go out so it can cast further away.
When we had to walk across the weir, it was actually terrifying, because you can see some of it like just under the water, so you're like, right, I have to walk there, and it looks like quite thin, and then it gets like thicker, but I didn't want to start using the rest of it in case like I'd stand on it and it just like crumbled.
It was really scary. It was like walking along a brick wall, but with like a little bit of force hitting your ankles.
I didn't think I'd catch a fish, because it was like the first time doing that kind of fishing, and I think if I got the opportunity I'd try fly fishing again.
Down by the River Almond, you can expect to see a wide variety of wildlife. You can expect to see otters, fish, birds, birch, oak and pine trees, bluebells, baby bells, bugs, lice and accountants. You can also expect to find a wide variety of dogs. You can find Alsatians, golden retrievers, miniature schnauzers, cocker spaniels. They all love to come and have a good old rollick in the river.
Almond is an old Celtic word for river. That means the River Almond's technically called the River. You can find various types of fish in the River Almond: brown trout, Atlantic salmon, sea trout. Gee willikers. Back to you, Tom.
Caw! 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 Caw!
Thanks, Mary. But fish aren't the only thing found in the River Almond. There are birds too. There are dippers, kingfishers, and grey herrings.
Caw!
You'd be hard pressed to find a single person in Livingston who hasn't had a significant memory by the Almond, whether it be a first kiss, a marriage proposal, their first experience with underage drinking, or a wet end to a night out. The River Almond may run through the heart of the new town, but it wouldn't be too much of a stretch to say, despite its problems, it also runs through the heart of Livingston's citizens.
My role in the film process was a really good variety, actually. I'd say, like, I got to try many different things because I was in front of the camera doing the river building. I liked building the river, mainly just because it was something creative and fun and a bit different from like anything we do at film club. I thought it was cool. I like art and stuff, so yeah.
One of my favourite moments is the opening sequence where we're in the river with wellies on and our raincoats, and it starts raining and all the cardboard letters are disintegrating.
Watching Kyle pretend to be a bird was really funny. And when I got a welly full of almond water, it was funny to an extent.
I did a lot of outside work with the camera, did sound. It was just a really good mix, and I think that was what's been so great about the project, is because we've actually had a lot more chance to try new things.
I liked the yellow wellies because it's just quite striking to see a bunch of people wearing these wellies.
I thought our costumes were awesome. It was probably one of the highlights of the week. I would definitely say that my view of the river has changed. At first I kind of neglected it, coming to the main part outside of Haldon where FireFly is based. We sort of kind of don't look at it or not see it, and it's not really that interesting, but going to all these places and going to all these parks have showed me that there's a lot of beauty to the river.
I've realised that there's a lot of really nice parts of the river that I've never been to, and it's kind of cool.
It's actually quite an underrated part of Livingston that nobody really pays attention to, and it's quite sad because in recent years it's been a lot less people are coming to it, and because a lot less people coming to it, you don't really get to see the sort of beauty of it and like the togetherness that it brings.
It's actually a lot better than what I expected, and there's a lot of wildlife like otters and fish.
I think I've learned like a lot. Like I didn't know a whole load about the River Almond before doing this project, and like during this project we've done a lot of research, which I think all of us have learned quite a lot about it.
Actually going down and sort of researching it and looking into it, it's kind of made me realise it's not as dull as it seems. Like it actually, not just due to its location and things, like it is actually quite an important part of Livingston, and I think I've sort of come to that realisation as the project's gone on.